Can't
we
afford
said
this anymore.
when cigarettes hit $3, we will never buy another pack of cigarettes. Like, that's it. Because they were like $1.99, and then they went to like $2.25, and then they went to $2.50, and we were like, this is ridiculous. We're young. But
and chat, just to add some context, if you're curious about what he's talking about, we're just remember one of us is in our 40s. So, sorry, one of us is in our 40s. I'm done.
Hilarious.
Got him.
This is about control, everybody knows, everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros, I don't need a plane, I just hit the road, I do what I want, I can't sell my soul, market about to crash, this is what you chose, ruining the country, I think that's the goal, you gon' take the mark, I take narrow roads, I'm a man of God, I can never fold.
Here we go. Let's do this. Welcome to the Protect Your Purpose podcast, where we talk whiskey, business, friends, family, and freedom. I'm your host, Matt Marchese, and this is my I gotta pick my cat up by 5 co-host Zach Grady. Welcome to the show, my friend.
It's my wife's cat.
We're gonna get you out of here in no time, because newsflash to the audience, as always, this is not airing live. And Zach made it very well known when we got in the studio that we're gonna have to hurry, because tell everybody why.
You tell my wife why that cat wasn't picked up by 5 if I don't make it there. My cat's at the vet, all right?
No. All I said was, tell everyone what you told Ian and I when you walked, or Ian and me when you walked in.
I told you just that. I have to pick up my cat by 5.
Oh, man.
I realize how dumb it sounds. You don't have to explain it to me.
I think you just got a new semi-permanent nickname.
What?
I got to pick my phone up by 5, Zach Grady.
You said phone.
Zach, I got to pick my cat up by 5, Grady, is how it should be.
That's what you wanted to say. Yeah.
All right, Ian, let's start over. Welcome to the Protector. I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. So today we got another reaction show for you. We decided that we don't have to give you the news because Tucker Carlson is doing it, and he's doing it against the requests of Fox News or Oxfey Uzne. Hopefully they don't try. You see what I did there? That's the pig Latin. We learned from our friend Shipwreck. I'm sure the algorithms are going to pick up the Igpay, Attenlay, Unse.
Eventually A.
Yeah, eventually A. So either way, A. What we're going to do is we're going to react to Tucker on Twitter. He's got 2, what he is referring to, episodes out, which I've noticed is essentially, you said you haven't seen them?
I didn't watch them all yet, no. So
there's only excited. 2? Oh, there's 3. He did like a teaser, like maybe a 2-minute teaser. I think that's what we reacted to. And then he's done 2 episodes. And basically what they are is they seem like just his monologue. You know, like he's doing a monologue. I'm sure they're not happy about it. Ian mentioned something. What did you say was going on? There's a lawsuit.
Fox News sent him a cease and assist.
Cease and desist?
Yeah.
Yep. A cease and desist?
Not assist.
Not assist.
You could start over and cut that part out if you want to make yourself sound like you know what you're talking about.
I prefer it when you correct me.
Okay. I'm a corrector. But I also preferred to be corrected.
Should we all talk like Matt today?
So I was going to let everyone know.
Little under the weather.
I'm feeling a little under the weather.
It's desist.
Oh, God, I do sound like a smoker.
I'm going to get my Marlboro menthols, please.
Ian, grab my cigarettes, please.
You guys just laugh at yourself.
Have you ever met
stupid.
Any of those people with one of those?
Yeah,
things?
back in the day when I was young, there was a guy.
You don't
who
see
had
him
one.
anymore, do you?
No, I'm sure there's technology's probably changed.
Do you think they can drink stuff faster?
Just through their porthole?
Just pour it right in there.
I'm not sure.
Put like a funnel.
I don't know if that goes to the stomach.
The only guy I've ever seen with one spent a lot of time at the bar because my mom used to work at a bar.
Oh, I'm sure with the the voice maker.
Little
Hey,
esophageal
can you give me a
cancer
shot of
speaker
whiskey?
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
I'll
really
take
weird.
another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never in my adult life seen one.
Right.
So mine has been only childhood.
So it must be a technology thing, I bet.
I mean, what do they do now?
I don't know. Maybe they can just fix it.
I think most
Without
people.
machines.
So I saw this statistic: smoking at its height, like in the 80s, an average is something like 3 out of 5 adults smoked at the height of when it was cool. When you had Smoking Joe Camel Guy and the
What do you
Marlboro
think-
Man.
what do you think it is today?
I would have actually bet.
No, it's
it was
like
more
it's
than
like
that.
1 out of 7 now. It has decreased that much.
Yeah, smoking isn't what it used to be. For
And the big portion of it though is smoking. When we were younger, it was cool to smoke. It's now it's vaping, but it's like if you're young and you smoke, it's frowned upon, and it's actually frowned upon anyone. Like I was a smoker almost all my life, and I quit 6 years ago, and I even frown upon it. And I hate the smell of it now.
I smoked for a lot of years too, and if I see someone who's smoking, I'm usually just like, it's 2023.
Yeah, you still do that?
You're smoking?
You're wasting $7 a day to kill yourself.
You're smoking cigarettes?
especially with the price, especially with the price nowadays. Yeah,
I remember when cigarettes hit $3.
So do I.
When cigarettes hit $3 was our stopping point. I had a group of friends, me and Reese.
You're like, I can't afford this anymore.
When cigarettes hit $3, we will never buy another pack of cigarettes. Like, that's it. Because they were like $1.99, and then they went to like $2.25, and then they went to $2.50, and we were like, this is ridiculous. We were young. And then I remember paying $13.50 for a pack of Newports in New York City one day, and I went, I cannot believe this has gotten to this point. But
and chat, just to add some context, if you're curious about what he's talking about, we're just remember one of us is in our 40s. So, sorry, one of us is in our 40s. I'm done.
Hilarious.
Got him.
Hilarious. Listen, that's not why I talk like this. I talk like this just because this is the way I fucking talk. I talked like this before I smoked. I started smoking when I was 12.
Same. I think I did.
I was 13.
I
13 when I
did.
started.
12 or 13, yeah. I hope my mom's not listening. Because it's actually a story. I was a grown-ass man. And I was never like a big smoker. My wife smoked for a while. Yeah, everyone was kind of a smoker at some point.
Seems like it, yeah.
I remember going to visit my brother. I was an adult. Grown-ass man. Had kids. And I went to visit my brother. And my mom called and was like, hey, where is Matt? She just, casually asking where I was. And my brother goes, he went up to the gas station to get a pack of smokes. My mom was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I mean, gas station to get a pack of P-Funks or whatever. And then I came back, and like an hour later, he's like, oh, by the way, I think I might have told mom that you smoked. And I'm like, what, bro? No, you told fucking mom? And he's like, well, what do you care? You're an adult. Like, what? I'm like, it doesn't matter. She protected me my whole life. She doesn't need to know. Anyway, my mom was right. How dumb was that? Stupid.
What is the point of it?
Dude,
even?
it's so fucking stupid.
It's
People
so
who
crazy.
smoke got duped into thinking some shit was cool.
Yep.
And then they found
I'm sure
themselves
that's where it starts.
highly addicted
Yep.
to a stimulant.
Yep.
And unknowingly caught themselves into a hamster wheel of death. Listen, smokers, it's 2023, isn't it? Get your shit. Is it 2023 where you are?
We met. Yep. I think
So the way
everywhere.
that this whole conversation started was Fox News sent Tucker Carlson a cease and desist.
Yeah. Nice.
Pew pew. But anyway, so
Timing is all wrong.
they're saying he's gonna fight it regardless, and episode 3's coming out sometime this week. So
This is how we got into smoking cigarettes?
So
Yeah.
I think
God
I don't even
damn,
know.
we got
Yeah,
in a
who the
rabbit
fuck?
hole.
That's
so I
a
don't
rabbit
know.
hole.
Back to Tucker. I don't know how this is gonna shake out. Obviously, no one does. But I think he was basically given an ultimatum. You are in a gag order. You're not allowed to speak. You're not allowed to use your voice because you're still an employee of Fox. They just canceled the show. They didn't terminate him. So he's still getting paid, and he is held under this contract. And he's basically saying, or the ultimatum he was basically given is, if you break your contract, you're going to have to fight in court. But for him, probably the worst case scenario is, I mean, his videos are getting like 50 million views. Like,
Right.
the worst case scenario for him is he's going to make way more money from advertisements, make way more money being an independent, to where the most Fox can probably get out of him is probably going to be his salary back.
So that's all this is financial?
Well,
that can't be it.
No, I don't, dude. All right, so let's preface this assuming that I trust Tucker.
Okay.
So if I were to trust Tucker, what I would say is they are trying to silence him. I think Fox News took Team DeSantis. I think Tucker was probably going to stick Team Trump or stick Team whatever's right and not go with the flow of whatever they wanted to do.
You think he's a libertarian? Has he said?
I don't know.
I bet you he's a libertarian now because he seems very fair. Again, he just wants what's best for the country, you know?
He's not political. He's principled.
This is assuming that he is a good guy.
I think he is.
But you could say the same thing about Trump then. I mean, if you assume Tucker's a good guy and say he just wants what's best for the country, he's saying almost the exact same thing all the time as Trump. I mean, of course, they have their differences. And of course, Tucker says it 1,000 times better.
Dude, super intelligent.
I mean, yes.
Makes a massive difference.
He's super
Not put
intelligent.
his foot in his mouth.
He's truly a masterful debater. I mean, so well spoken and articulate in what he wants, and he crafts his message so perfectly and carefully. Like, he understands how much words matter, to where when he writes his monologue, I'm sure his 8 to 12 minute monologue that he's putting together, I'm sure it takes him several hours to write.
Oh, for sure.
And he's quick on his feet. He's witty. He's fast. He's not studying this shit before he writes his monologue. It's coming off the dome, I'm certain. But I would assume he's putting forth a ton of effort into crafting that monologue perfectly.
Well, think this is a once a week he's coming out with a 10-minute video. That's it. So everything, all of the important news, he picks and chooses which stories, how to give them each a very carefully, well-crafted 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Beautifully, and all that, and also he's never out of context. Like, you don't watch his anything and you're like, he's
funny
everything.
as shit,
He's
too.
amazing.
Anyway, assuming he's a good guy, and assuming Donald Trump is a good guy, I mean, they say the same thing. We could literally say, hey, Trump just wants what's best for America. And I, to our audience, everyone who's listened to the show more than once understands that I am far from a Donald Trump lover. I am far from a supporter of Donald Trump. I have my doubts. I hate that he was the ultimate vaccine salesman.
Vaccine
I
poster
laugh at all the dude. Let's take a quick down vaccine memory lane here and let all of our vaccinated friends on the other side of this know that they took the Trump vaccine. Because early on, you'll remember Operation Warp Speed was President Trump's operation. He took credit for getting that vaccine up and running. He got all the approvals were done under
he was trying to get it done before he got out.
Right. And I remember them, all of the Democrats saying, I'm not taking this vaccine, this Trump vaccine. Like, they thought this whole thing was the Trump deal. And then the moment office switched, now all of the Trump supporters are unvaccinated. Not all, many, most. And the Democrats flipped, and then they're villainizing the Trump supporters. Meanwhile, Trump's selling this vaccine better than anyone.
Just took it for all the wrong reasons.
Right?
Man.
How great is it?
Look at this shit.
Service. Service to this great nation.
Service without a smile. I love it.
Service with a frown, baby. I love it. Yeah, he really put on a frown. Ian, I love you, and thank you, Ian, for the espresso. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Gracias.
Oh, yes. Warm and delicious on my throat. I feel like it's going to... Bro, that's not what I fucking meant.
That's too far, dude.
That's what she said.
I was talking about
I know
the
it's
coffee.
Pride Month. I get it. It's fine.
Ian, cut that part out, too.
Jesus Christ.
We're going to be they're going to call us a bunch of racist homophobes on this show. Bigot, racist.
Hey, no, I want to correct there's nothing wrong with any warm liquids going down your throat. It's fine.
Right. You just got to hurry because I got to get my cat by 5.
Do you need like a shot, Zach?
Anyway, listen.
You need some Benadryl?
Listen.
Is it red? Is it real bad?
Listen. Back to Tucker, folks. Listen. We're gonna get to reacting here in a minute. We're gonna enough with the yapping and enough with the yakking, and we're gonna get to reacting.
Roll that bomb ass intro.
But I think ultimately what Tucker's situation is he had a choice to make. Hopefully he's a good guy, and I think an angle he's gonna take is just, I'm not reporting the news. I'm not doing interviews. I'm not doing news shows. I'm doing a fucking.
Talking.
I'm just talking for 10 minutes about my opinion on what shit's going on. Like, I think the way he's rolling this out is very defensively offensive, sort of passively aggressive, saying, I'm allowed to speak. You can't, I don't have a gag order. I'm allowed to talk. I'm just not allowed to I'm not allowed to compete with you. I think his position on Twitter is probably saying, nope, I'm not competing directly with you. I'm on an entirely different platform that you're not even on. And you don't even do what I do. I think he's going to say, I'm not producing my show. It's entirely different network, entirely different audience, entirely different platform. And I think ultimately Fox News is going to get their shit kicked in.
I was going to say, 100% he knew what route he was going to take when he had to have expected Fox to do something.
Oh,
and he knew every single loophole that 100%. He needed to have to jump through to get by.
He's going to forfeit. The worst case scenario probably, and I'm no lawyer, obviously. I just play one on TV.
And we don't know all the details.
Of course. I would assume the worst case scenario for Tucker, if he loses, he's got to return his salary from the day that fucking first monologue aired on Twitter on down. And I don't think Tucker gives a single shit. He was rich before Fox News, by the way. He came from money. Yeah, he was a trust fund kid, I think. He came from wealth, which is another reason why I'm not sure I trust him. Anyway, all right, Ian.
Trust any of those rich fuckers.
Ian, tell yourself to roll that video.
Roll that video.
He does the fly in.
Or do you like pew pew better?
Do you need like an actual gun sound?
No, I like your gun.
Why? I like the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I don't want the clapper. I just like.
I like the mouth gun.
Yeah, the mouth gun.
And the mouth laser. Do the mouth laser again.
Pew pew.
Yeah, he's got a mouth gun and do the gun.
I don't know if it's a gun or
a laser beam.
Explosion though.
It's a bomb.
I think
it's a mouth bomb.
I probably can't do that on a plane, huh?
Do the mouth bombs.
You dropping mouth bombs over
Anyway,
there?
all right, let's go. Ian, roll that fucking video. Let's do it.
Tucker on Twitter.
All right, Ian, press play. Let's see it.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson.
There he is.
This morning it looks like somebody blew up the Kakhovka Dam in southern Ukraine. The rushing wall of water wiped out entire villages, destroyed a critical hydropower plant, and as of tonight, puts the largest nuclear reactor in Europe
Is this episode 1?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Play?
Yeah, please, sorry.
in danger of melting down. So if this was intentional, it was not a military tactic, it was an act of terrorism. The question is, who did it? Well, let's see. The Kakhovka Dam was effectively Russian. It was built by the Russian government. It currently sits in Russian-controlled territory. The dam's reservoir supplies water to Crimea, which has been, for the last 240 years, home of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. Blowing up the dam may be bad for Ukraine, but it hurts Russia more. And for precisely that reason, the Ukrainian government has considered destroying it. In December, the Washington Post quoted a Ukrainian general saying his men had fired American-made rockets at the dam's floodgate as a test strike. So really, once the facts start coming in, it becomes much less of a mystery what might have happened to the dam. Any fair person would conclude that the Ukrainians probably blew it up, just as you would assume they blew up Nord Stream, the Russian natural gas pipeline, last fall.
Press play.
In fact,
I think what he's getting at, not I think, and we'll give our opinion towards the end of this, but I'm sure what he's going to get at is the media suppressing this information.
Doesn't cover any of this.
They don't cover any of this.
Or if they do cover it, it's from like big bad Russia. Not saying that Russia isn't big bad, but that they're doing something
of course,
to take out this dam when, if you know the context behind it, it's the complete opposite.
And they don't tell shit. They don't report anything. They don't tell us anything. I'm certain that half of the country, if not more, has no idea that this went on.
I would say, well, now 50 million people later.
Yeah.
But
Tucker's going to do good things, man. Hopefully he's a good guy. Press play.
Ukrainians did do that, as we now know.
Yeah.
It's not like Vladimir Putin is anxious to wage war on himself. Oh, but that's where you're wrong, Mr. and Mrs. Cable News consumer.
Here we go.
Vladimir Putin is exactly that sort of man, the sort of man who'd shoot himself to death in order to annoy you. We know this from the American media, which wasted no time this morning in accusing the Russians of sabotaging their own infrastructure.
There it is.
Bill Kristol, the man who once told us that Saddam Hussein was responsible for 9/11, immediately denounced Putin as a war criminal and even more savagely compared him to Donald Trump.
Hold on a second.
The rest of the pundits...
Are they saying that Putin is a war criminal for blowing up his own pipeline?
No, he did not.
didn't.
But
It was
this
great.
is very hard to wrap your head around.
Fuck.
Some of
All
these
right.
parts.
Yeah, I should have watched this in advance.
My
Go
brain's
ahead.
too small.
class made similar, clearly coordinated noises. Putin did it! Putin did it!
Yeah.
And their reasoning was simple.
Yes. So there's my
Putin is
answer.
evil.
That's what they're
and
saying.
evil people do evil things purely for the dark joy of being evil.
Right.
In this specific case, Putin attacked himself, which is the most evil thing you can do, and therefore perfectly in character for a man that evil. That was their explanation. No one who's paid to cover these things seemed to entertain even the possibility it could have been the Ukrainians who did it. No chance of that. Ukraine, as you may have heard, is led by a man called Zelensky.
Who's an
We
actor.
can say for a dead certain fact that he was not involved. He couldn't have been. Zelensky is too decent for terrorism.
Too decent.
Now, you see him on television, and it's true you might
This
form a
fucking
different
guy.
impression. Sweaty and rat-like, a comedian turned oligarch, a persecutor of Christians, a friend of BlackRock.
Press pause. A comedian who is an actor. We've gone over this on this show before.
Like,
Legitimately an actor in films, on stage.
so compare him to somebody, like, would he be like an Arnold Schwarzenegger taking over California? Like somebody of that,
Sure.
like
yeah.
something like that? Like,
Yeah.
he was
or,
famous in Ukraine for
Or
certain things.
perhaps Donald Trump.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
An actor who has a show. And then all of a sudden he's on stage and he's an actor. You ever talk to an actor, like a really good actor?
Yeah.
Okay? So you,
I know you have.
And I do
yes,
not.
you do.
I get what you're saying, but if you've seen Donald Trump in movies, he's not a great actor.
If you saw him on stage at the
Have
president,
you seen him in Home Alone?
Yeah, that's right. Have you seen him in The Little Rascals?
I've seen The Little Rascals.
Yeah.
He's not.
Okay.
He's himself.
Right. Did you see him on stage on the campaign trail? Also not a great actor.
Right.
But he's an actor. So when you talk to an actor, if they're like a really good actor, you have to ask yourself when they're involved in your
Is this real?
hold the fuck on.
Is this real?
Because I've seen you immediately make yourself cry on film. Like, I've seen you act like you're dying of cancer. It'd be pretty simple to convince me that you're interested in my conversation.
Right.
You know? But they're actors, like legitimate actors. Go ahead and press play. I don't know if he said that, but he did say a comedian. Also wanted to mention a legitimate
But he's got like
actor.
music videos and
Yeah.
he's got all kinds of shit out.
Yeah. An actor.
But don't believe your own eyes. Actually, Mr. Zelensky is a very good man. The best, really. As George W. Bush once noted, he is our generation's Winston Churchill. Of all the people in the world, our shifty, dead-eyed Ukrainian friend in the tracksuit is uniquely
dead-eyed
incapable of blowing up a dam.
Friend.
He's literally a
the
living saint,
tracksuit.
a man in whom there is no sin. That's why Lindsey Graham is so attracted to him.
Press pause.
They're just too good.
What he's saying is our government. We saw it. We saw it on Capitol Hill, them waving a flag inside our Capitol, a Ukrainian flag, and Nancy Pelosi kissing this guy. Like, they have made this guy,
Both parties too, because he just said.
Oh.
Bush said he loved him.
well, Bush is a uniparty. Like,
Yep.
Bush, Clinton, Obama. Same team. Same team, same team. So all the people, when I defended, I want to issue a formal apology to all the people when I was deployed.
sorry.
I'm very sorry. Who said that George Bush couldn't be trusted, and I said that he could. I was wrong.
You was wrong.
I was
Mama's wrong again.
Wrong again. Yep. You people were right. But coincidentally, the people then that thought he wasn't to be trusted are now like these George Bush fans because he teamed up with these other two ass clowns. Like, hold on. You were right. I'm telling you were right. We were wrong. But you can't go back from being right to now just being wrong because you...
For the same premise.
Right, shit. Fuck. No, stick with it. You were right. You were onto something. The war was bullshit. The weapons of mass destruction was bullshit. We didn't find any. And then we
'Cause there
started
weren't
different
any.
wars. Right. And then we started different wars 20 years. And now guess who has all our weapons? The Taliban. You were right. You need to be standing on that hill saying, I told you fuckers so. And then understand that Bill Clinton and Barack Obama are breaking bread with Bush and making money with him. Press play. Sorry, I digress. We're just supposed to be reacting to this video, not screaming at the camera. I'm sorry. My
Good
voice.
people
My voice.
hanging out together and being good.
So they all do.
And like all good people, when they meet in person, they spend a lot of time talking about killing people
He's
and
talking about Lindsey
laughing
Graham.
like friends do. Here's the pair last week.
I love his sarcasm.
He's
Free or
great.
die. Now you are free.
Yes.
And we will be.
And the Russians are dying.
It's the best money we've ever spent.
Unbelievable.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
No, it's
The Russians are dying. It's the best money we've ever spent, Graham
Unbelievable,
says.
right?
A smile spreads across his thin, quivering lips as he forms the words. He looks like a starving man contemplating a breakfast buffet. The aroma of death has aroused Lindsey Graham.
Press
Thanks
pause real
so
quick.
much.
I hate interrupting this. I just want to let it play and react at the end, but I don't want to forget. I should have my notepad so I can talk about it at the end. I want to set the stage here. If you're watching this, picture these as actors with video cameras around, with a script, saying things that they were scripted to say, that they practice saying, so they can then cut it together like a podcast and deliver it for the purpose of winning over their audience. Okay, if you picture that, which is what this is, it's exactly what this is. Buzzwords like best money we've ever spent, the Russians are dying, freedom or nothing, free or die. Like these are buzzwords. These are scripted sentences.
They're clippable moments.
They're, as Ian calls them, clippable moments. The only difference is nobody writes a script for us. There is a script for these people. They are incentivized, pressured, forced, if not voluntarily, parroting these buzzwords and these clippable moments that they can put out into the country and into the world and into the universe to persuade us, to sway us in one direction. And that direction has been the same since before Donald Trump took office. But when Donald Trump took office, anti-Russia, we're
Fuck
pro-Ukraine. We needed to, Russia is the evil. We need to take them down. And guess what they're doing? They're sending billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of our dollars to that man.
Instead of investing it in our country, which we very drastically
What are they
need.
fucking doing with it? What are they doing with our money?
Blowing up dams, apparently.
Blowing up dams.
Killing Russians. They said it.
Killing the Russians.
Best money they've ever. Our best of our money they've
What
ever
are
spent.
we killing Putin? Or are we just killing Russian citizens? They're sending our money and they're glorifying it. So, and Lindsey Graham, a Republican, is telling them this is the best. No, they're laundering our money. They're stealing our fucking money. They're taking our U.S. dollars, printing them, decreasing the value of our dollar, destroying the middle class, sending it to Ukraine, and what's going to happen? Where's the money? I can tell you where the money's going. It's going right back into the pockets of the people who are pushing this agenda and sending them money, like Hunter Biden, through networks and businesses that are under contract from their government. We give them our taxpayer dollar. They give them to their businesses to support their war. They pay $50 million to Burisma or whatever. And then Hunter Biden sits on the board and they give him the money. Our government stole our money and sent it to themselves. It's a money laundering scheme. Doesn't it seem like that? They're just washing the money through the way of war. So why are we doing this? Well, I don't know.
And it also goes into the same premise of whoever they're trying to villainize, you need to dig deeper and figure out why.
Do your own research.
Do your own research and figure out why.
I just hope Tucker's a good guy, man, and I hope that Trump is a good guy. I hope Trump...
We need him to be.
Fuck, bro, we need him to be. I don't trust DeSantis. Let's play. Let's watch the rest of this thing. I'll try not to interrupt.
Zelensky, he feels the same way. See, there's nothing dark here. Just two middle-aged guys celebrating the killing of a population. They don't seem like the kind of people who'd enjoy flooding villages or starting a famine. And in any case, who cares if they are? It's really not your business. Your job is to support Ukraine. Watch Nikki Haley, a Republican candidate for president, explain this principle on CNN.
A win for Ukraine is a win for all of us. And for them to sit there and say that this is a territorial dispute, that's just not the case. To say that we should stay neutral, it is in the best interest of America. It's in the best interest of our national security for Ukraine to win.
National
we have
security,
to see
there
this
it is
through.
again.
We have to finish it.
See? It's very easy to understand. It is vitally important for you to support Ukraine because it's necessary for Ukraine to be supported by you.
Yeah.
Your support
No
is
explanation.
mandatory until it's finished, whatever it is, and whatever that means. So shut up and support Ukraine, or else you're in trouble. Back when they still taught logic, statement.
Real quick, I feel like this message right here is almost what Fox News told him. Like when he was wanting to report stuff differently, and they're just like, shut up and report this, or you're in trouble.
If Tucker is a good guy, that would make perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
Because right there, I mean, he just went after Republican Party right there. That was a Republican convention, and I mean, he just everybody like he's reporting the news that way it should be, which is
these are called rhinos. These are Republicans in name only. These are people who have been bought and paid for.
That's the problem. The entire Democratic Party and half the Republican Party.
And if you wonder
is on
why,
the same bullshit.
you'll remember on one of our previous episodes, we gave you all a book and some videos. Oh, anyway, on Agenda and The Naked Communist. So we gave you a book and a documentary to watch that will explain why and how they're doing this through one or both parties. The Democratic Party is done for. There may
Republican
be
Party's getting there.
right, and this is why, dude. For years, I've been accused of being a partisan. I've been accused of being this Republican. I've been accused of being whatever it is, and I'm like, nope. Listen to me. I'm a realist. I don't care. I've been a registered independent up until very recently. I just switched my party to the Libertarian Party. I've been a registered independent since I was 18 years old, registered to vote. I've always said I'll vote for anybody. I'm just going to vote for the best candidate who supports the most freedom. Dude, 25 years-ish, 23 years-ish. That's been my position. I joined the military. That's been my position. I took an oath to defend our freedom against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I took an oath for this. I don't give a shit what party you are. If you're doing this shit, if you're literally printing tax dollars, destroying our economy, destroying the value of our dollar, destroying our middle class, dividing us into two classes, wealth classes, rich as fuck and poor as fuck, destroying any opportunity of the middle class to buy houses that don't already own a house. And they're going to squeeze them so badly to where there's going to be no choice left for them but to sell their house, cash out on that, to pay the rest of their bills, and then they'll never be able to buy a fucking house again. That's the way this is going. And if you're doing that, I don't care if you're a Republican or if you're a Democrat or I don't care what you are. You're no friend of mine and you don't deserve my support. And for all these years, I've been telling people it isn't about Republican or Democrat. I understand you think I'm a Republican and you're a Democrat, so you want to leave it like that. Ian, we've had this conversation 100 times. Yep. I understand what you're saying. Right now, you feel it is because I'm a Republican in your eyes and you're a Democrat in my eyes. So you think I'm just saying that to try and convert you. No, it literally isn't about Republican or Democrat. It's about protecting two parties. And we have to be the yin to their yang. And we're just supposed to be reacting to Tucker. I wasn't even supposed to. We did that. My voice was supposed to get some rest.
This is a reaction.
We are so off.
It's fine.
You're actually doing good reaction. You should. You just keep doing what you're doing. It's good.
Ian, cut that part out. Let's go. Press play.
Like
Let's go.
As tautologies. Something is true because it is.
Yeah.
The more you repeat it, the truer it becomes.
This is where
It's
world
a
we're living in.
self-reinforcing reality.
And that right there is what he was talking about in regards to, we need to help Ukraine. If you keep saying it, it's the truth.
Why do we need to help Ukraine? Because we need to help Ukraine. What do you mean?
Why? Because we have
Ukraine,
to.
Yeah, Ukraine needs help.
We're a country that helps other countries, so we have to help
It's
Ukraine.
our obligation. You have to help Ukraine. But why?
We have to send them billions. That's why.
I want to issue, we've got a lot of listeners now. We've got a lot of people who listen to these. I want to issue an offer to anyone who can come on this show and truly explain to me how this will work and why it is better that we support this bogus-ass war in Ukraine and why we send them billions and billions of dollars and why, specifically this reason, why it is better that we do that at the expense of the complete destruction of our own country. That's what I want to know. If someone can come on the show and explain that to us,
make it make sense.
If someone can come make this make sense, I invite them to come sit on that chair. Okay, press play.
There was a time when
sit here.
tautologies were considered illegitimate arguments, not to mention hilariously stupid. Only dumb people talk like that.
True.
Now everybody in power talks like that. Diversity is our strength. Trans women are women. Zelensky is Churchill. It's all self-evidently true. Doesn't need an explanation, and don't ask questions.
Perfect.
Sound familiar? Of course it does. That's
Trans
the
women are
path
women.
they're
Why?
serving
Because
us
they
day
are.
after day in
said so.
steaming, lumpy portions.
We're changing definitions.
By this point, it's possible that American citizens are the least informed people in the world.
Ooh.
Your average yak herder in Tajikistan knows who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. It's obvious.
Your
Does
average
he think
yak
some skinny
herder.
dude in a dress is actually a girl? Come on. That idea would never occur to him. You've got to be lied to at full volume over a period of years in order to reach conclusions like that.
That has happened.
And of course, we have been.
Yeah.
The media lie. They do.
Well, we should do this
But
together,
mostly they just
Tucker.
ignore the stories that matter. What's happened to the hundreds of billions of US dollars we've sent to Ukraine? No clue. Who organized those BLM riots 3 years ago? No one's gotten to the bottom of that. What exactly happened on 9/11? Well, it's still classified. How did Jeffrey Epstein
Press
make
pause
all
real
that
quick.
money? How did he?
Another challenge for anyone. If anyone can show me video footage of an airplane hitting the Pentagon, I will personally give them a $500 Venmo. $500.
Is there no footage of that? This is something I don't know. Is there no footage?
The Pentagon.
Yeah.
In
Wow.
2001.
Because there's a lot of footage of all the others.
Cameras were fucking everywhere in 01. We had cell phone cameras in 01.
We sure did.
Okay? Let alone one of the most secure buildings in the fucking world, the Pentagon. If someone can deliver me one non-character generated video footage of a clear footage clip of an airplane striking the Pentagon, caveat to that. It cannot be the one that has surfaced from the guard shack, which is click by click, frame by frame, which appears to be the front end, like the tippity dip of a missile. And then the next frame is an explosion.
So
that one doesn't count, but if you want to share that one and try and make that make sense, I'm happy to do it. But that video footage does not count for the $500.
So to understand the context behind that, so what are they saying? Since there's no footage, we blew up a bomb because obviously everyone's seen the aftermath of part of the Pentagon.
I would also encourage someone or incentivize someone, if you can give me clear and undisputed airplane parts from the wreckage afterwards, like a wing or a tail wing.
Any of those.
Any clear
Very
and obvious, distinguishable, like not through some sort of forensic scientist or, forensic specialist, but like to the regular ass person can be like, oh, that's definitely a fucking airplane wing. Okay, if you can do that, I'll give you $100. So I got $600 on the table.
There we go.
To any viewers or any of our audience members that can deliver us 2 items. 1, clear video footage of an airplane hitting one of the most secure buildings in the entire world, which is the U.S. Pentagon in Washington, D.C., on September 11th.
Which, if it did happen, should be very easy to get a hold of.
Which, dude, this was after the World Trade Center had gotten smashed. Like, you'd think cameras would be...
Everybody
would be on. Especially in Washington, D.C. Just deliver me a video of that. Or obvious airplane parts at the wreckage of the Pentagon. I'm making no
You're just asking for
accusations.
the proof, yeah.
I'm just
show
asking.
me.
I can't find the footage. If someone could do that research for me and send it, it would be worth
make
me
it worth
sending
your
them
while.
money. Yep, I'll make it worth your while. All right, go ahead. Push.
A 9/11. Well, it's still classified. How did Jeffrey Epstein make all that money? How did he die? How about JFK? And so endlessly
Well,
on.
we now know how JFK died.
Not only are the media not interested in any of this, they are actively hostile to anybody who is. In journalism, curiosity is the gravest crime. Yesterday, for example, a former Air Force officer who worked for years in military intelligence came forward as a whistleblower to reveal that the U.S. government has physical evidence of crashed non-human-made aircraft, as well as the bodies of the pilots who flew those aircraft. The Pentagon has spent decades studying these otherworldly remains in order to build more technologically advanced weapons systems. Okay, that's what the former intel officer revealed, and it was clear he was telling the truth. In other words, UFOs are actually real, and apparently so is extraterrestrial life. Now we know. In a normal country, this news would qualify as a bombshell, the story of the millennium.
Of course.
But in our country, it doesn't.
No.
The whistleblower's account ran on a technology website called The Debrief, which you've probably never heard of.
Yeah, because
the Washington
nobody's
Post
airing
had
it.
that story,
Nobody's covering it.
but decided not to run it.
Of course.
The New York Times, meanwhile, just pretended it never happened.
Jesus.
On the front page of the New York Times website this morning, there were 5 stories about Ukraine, as well as 4 stories apiece about Donald Trump, trans people, and climate change, the usual lineup. There was nothing at all about how an alien species is flying hypersonic aircraft over our cities. Not one word.
Dude, I couldn't believe this when they came out with that video.
So if you're wondering why our
think
country
we
seems
pause
so
it.
dysfunctional,
We had that conversation. Like,
Yeah.
we live in a time where they can tell us aliens are real and nobody blinks a
Nobody
fucking
said
eye.
shit. Yeah, we're so twisted. I mean, dude, it was 2 years ago. They came out that video where the Navy
It's when they
pilots.
declassified it, right? Yeah.
and they came out with those videos where the pilots were like, "Whoa, that's crazy." They came out, those pilots came out and said, "We see that shit all the time." And there is no answer. And it's real. We confirmed it. And at that time I went, why isn't anyone going?
Story
And
of
well,
the
and
century.
if you think it's real, you're still considered crazy, and it's a conspiracy theory.
Bro, if you think any of what we talk about on this show is real, you can consider. If you think wearing a mask does, if you think the COVID vaccines don't work, you're still considered a conspiracy theorist. Somebody who had all of the COVID vaccines and who currently has COVID will tell you you're crazy if you say the vaccine doesn't work. It's called brainwashing.
yeah.
Yep. Say it too many times, you start believing it.
He just explained it, dude. It's propaganda with the intent of distorting reality so much and numbing us down so much to where they can tell us anything. And we're just like, nope. My government said they would never do anything to hurt me or lie to me. Press play.
functional, this is a big part of the reason. Nobody knows what's happening. A small group of people control access to all relevant information, and the rest of us don't know. We're allowed to yap all we want about racism.
Of course.
But go ahead and talk about something that really matters and see what happens. If you keep it up, they'll make you be quiet. Trust us. That's how they maintain control. When Western tourists first started traveling in large numbers to the Soviet Union in the early 1970s, they found that many Russians had a completely warped understanding of the United States. They thought that Americans lived in grinding poverty, in a state of perpetual race war, and were desperate to flee to the freedom and prosperity of the Eastern Bloc. They thought this because that's what they had been told. They had no way to know otherwise. The few Russians who understood what was really going on in the rest of the world had learned about it from listening to shortwave radio broadcasts, sometimes under the covers so the neighbors wouldn't hear. 50 years later, it is bewildering to consider the ironies here. We're the ones who live in ignorance now. The U.S. government has managed to classify more than 1 billion so-called public documents. So at this point, we can't possibly know what our leaders are doing. We're not allowed to know. By definition, that is not a democracy. Yet it's fine with the media. Secrecy is a powerful tool of control. Stop asking how we got so rich. Here's another story about racism. Go eat each other. That's the
Oh,
program.
man.
That's how most of us now live here in the United States. Manipulated by lies, silenced by taboos. It is unhealthy and it's dehumanizing, and we're tired of it. As of today, we've come to Twitter, which we hope will be the shortwave radio under the blankets. We're told there are no gatekeepers here. If that turns out to be false, we'll leave. But in the meantime, we are grateful to be here. We'll be back with much more very soon.
There it is.
Dude, I feel like that's almost too far past the point of controlled opposition. Like if he was, that's too much. I don't know. I'm in. That was money right there, man. I'm about in.
The more, yeah, you know, I hope so. I agree. A lot of the shit, and then yeah, I agree. A lot of the shit he's been saying though for years, I've been saying, but if he wasn't a good guy, why would he fucking say that? And then I can always kind of find a way and a reason, and you know, where I always kind of land is, well, the more he says, the more we are divided. And that's a part of the goal. So
I think with everything though, you're going to have that, right?
I think that's right.
You can make the argument for either side.
that's right.
So that's tough. You know, like do you want to believe that he could be our, white knight, or
Yep.
that he's just another controlled op? Because another way I look at it too is if he is the good guy, it gives me more hope about Elon. But then again, you could say Elon's controlled op, that he's gonna bring him on because it's gonna create more of a divide. So
I don't know, man. It's very weird.
the way he talks, I believe it though. But again, he's so articulate, man. He could tell you that the sky's purple and you'd believe it.
And he understands words and how to use them so well.
He could
and if
sell
he
ketchup popsicle
to a woman
to
in
a
white
woman
gloves.
in white gloves.
Yeah, ice to an Eskimo. I got, when I was under investigation in the Army, they referred to me. Yeah, I was under investigation in the Army after I refused the jabby jab, and after I was top blocked on all my NCOERs and was considered like the golden
Super
child
soldier.
of the Army Reserve. After all of that, when my career took a shit for turn, which surely had nothing to do with
Absolutely not.
with my
course
refusal.
not.
No, I was just a small threat to national security, said several of my leaders.
Because you didn't get the vaccine, Vay?
Right, because I didn't get the vaccine, and I told them to gay ukfe themselves.
You're close.
Yeah, themselves they.
I got it.
Anyway, after all of that, they I forget where I was going with that. What was I going to say?
They called you salesman, probably.
Oh yeah, salesman. They referred to me I got to read, and when you get put under investigation in the Army, they get it. Everyone has to put sworn statements in. There were several people who said that I was known for being able to sell ice to an Eskimo. And I was like, dude,
What a
I'm
compliment, dude.
Yeah, in a world where we're in basically the Army sales positions.
I was just going to say, that was actually kind of part of your job.
Right, right. In every other aspect, that they of course turn that and put a negative connotation into it. But those are the same fucking things, bullet points for like high level awards in our field. Oh, this guy can do anything. He can sell ice to an Eskimo. Anyway, badge of honor. Thank you very much for the.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was basically my separation award. My PCS award was an investigation results where they talked really good about me. Side note. So listen, let's wrap this thing up. We're coming up on time. I know you've got a kitty cat to get.
Yep.
Here's the deal. I think we all need to proceed with caution.
TBD.
Yep. TBD. Proceed with caution. We're gonna react to the next episode here.
I'm overly optimistic, though. I am.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you are cautiously optimistic.
Yeah,
I think we
always.
as a community and we as Americans have an obligation at this point to, number one, understand that this is a war and the words are the weapons. And it is a war for control of our minds, of our youth, of our behaviors, of our thoughts, of our social norms, of our our tolerance for their agenda. We've heard them call us the most evil and awful things. We've heard them say that their political opposition, aka Republicans, are the enemies of the country. We've heard the president say that, the white man is the enemy. I think we as a nation need to understand that it is come down to where they are manipulating, hiding information, manipulating words, changing shit to basically put together a program, your daily programming, to craft a message to change our hearts. Maybe if you're a political person and you don't believe anything we talk about, then just call it for votes. Just say, hey, they're doing this for votes.
Right.
And then it is our obligation to think of things, everything that they tell us, everything that we hear from an objective standpoint, and troubleshoot everything on both sides of the aisle, both sets of information, and really dig down to discern what the fuck is actually going on.
Take everything with a grain of salt.
Right. And wonder why. Like, hey, okay, they said those words. Why would they say that?
Or if you watch CNN or if you watch Fox News, remain open-minded and watch this too, and then ask yourself, why is CNN not covering this? Why is Fox News not covering this?
Why would they keep that? Why is this classified?
Or just not even, why is it? Why are they not talking about it?
How about the president, Donald Trump, having classified documents as the former president of the United States at his house, the old White House, where he conducted his presidential duties in Mar-a-Lago? Instead of the entire left and the entire media and the entire world saying he committed some heinous crime by having documents that were classified that he said he was set to declassify, or did, or hadn't made the decision, or whatever the story is, instead of wondering why he did that, I think as a nation, collectively, we should be saying, what are the documents?
Or why
are they such a big deal?
Or why are we waiting till now to file this? You mean we didn't just find this out. We've known this for 3 years that he had these documents.
Dude,
we're waiting until the presidential election.
If these are documents that said there's fucking aliens flying around that were still classified, we don't give a shit. Who cares? Who cares? Because guess what? All presidents had documents. All presidents take documents home. Even non-presidents like Hillary Clinton have classified shit on their personal computer that they fucking bleach bit and wipe out and destroy evidence of. Like, I don't care that she did that. I want to know, what did you destroy? Donald Trump, I don't care that they're at your house. What were they? Why did you have them? I don't give a shit that you had them. And this is all a big cover-up, and this is what they do every time. They look at a different perspective, and they shade us into this narrative to where we come at and go at each other's throats. Has anyone asked, hey, what's in the documents that Trump has? And why is the Biden administration so afraid of it? To the point that they're going to do that? Or are they really nothing, and there is nothing, and they just want to destroy his new presidential candidacy? Maybe that's the... But whatever it is...
Either way, let's ask the question.
What are the fucking documents? Ask. It is our obligation. It is our duty as Americans to demand that we see shit like this. We have rights. And if they take that away from us, we're no longer a free society. We are no longer a democracy. This is now them using it's been this way for 20 years, 30 years. They classify things to keep them from us to maintain and gain control. Anyway, listen, it's our obligation, people. It's your obligation as a citizen to exercise your rights. I love these guys who do these freedom constitutional amendment audits. They go out and walk around town with an open carry and challenge their Second Amendment rights. They go out and go to government buildings and make everyone uncomfortable by walking around with a camera and shoving it in police officers' faces and just say, hey, I'm exercising my right to press, my freedom. And they say, they push the limits and then disperse the videos. It is our obligation to use and exercise our rights and demand transparency and control of our government. Because if not, we will end up under the control of someone else where we are no longer free. So,
Boom.
anyway, thank you all for listening. I appreciate you taking the time. I didn't start the show like this. Shit. Just rewind this, fast forward it, put it,
Rewind.
superimpose it. Make sure you like and share the show. Smash that subscribe button, and please spread the message. We really appreciate it. It helps us grow the show and helps us save America is what we're trying to do, and make everyone a better person and make America the best place to live that it possibly can be, so we don't lose our rights. So thank you all again, and as always, find your purpose, serve your purpose, and protect your purpose, people. Thank you.
Peace.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You did it. You've been waiting all show for
He
that.
was
Adam.
sitting on
I
that
have.
one.
Good